Often when Jesus heals someone, he says, your faith has healed you, and that has nothing to do with having enough faith for a miracle. It actually is talking about systemic injustice. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. So this is a fascinating cultural insight that can make the Jesus story much more profound. In the culture of the Bible, people's health and wealth were considered an indication of their faith, of how much faith they have, of how holy they were, and all of that kind of stuff. So if you got sick, you were supposed to make a sacrifice and try to cleanse yourself. If you had a chronic illness, it was even worse. People thought that you were somehow really, really sinful, or maybe your parents were. And then when it came to things that involved blood or skin issues, it was even worse. With those issues, people wouldn't talk to you. People wouldn't let their kids play with your kids, and people wouldn't touch you. And in some cases, you would actually not just be on the outside of the community socially, you would be on the outside of the actual physical community. You'd have to live outside of it. So there's this story where Jesus has a whole crowd pressed around him, and a woman believes that he can heal her and touches the hem of his garment. Now, this is a really interesting little fact there. There was this idea, the Jewish people wore a talit, a prayer shawl that had these tassels on the end of it. And there was this idea at the time, this superstition at the time, that when the Messiah came, if you touched the corner of his robe, if you touched it was called the tzitzi, you would be healed. So this woman goes up, grabs the tzitzi, and is healed. And Jesus says, like, who was this? And the disciples are like, there's a whole crowd of people. Who are you talking about? And the woman it fesses up. Now, she had been bleeding for 12 years, and it says she suffered a lot under physician's care. That means 12 years of people not wanting to talk to you. 12 years of not being touched. Why? Because clearly she had done something really bad. And if people got too close to her, or if they touched her, they would catch the sin, and they would actually have to go and do rituals to cleanse themselves. People would have thought that she did not have very strong faith. So Jesus looks at her and says publicly, in that community, your faith has healed you. She is a victim of systemic injustice. She is part of a marginalized community in the ancient world. And when Jesus says that publicly, he says her faith has healed her, not his faith, not his spiritual prowess. When he says it out loud, he's a rabbi, he's allowed to make that call. And it not only has healed her body, it restores her to the community, because everybody now has been told she was not super sinful. She did not have a tiny little bit of faith. She had strong faith, stronger than any of the people there. Jesus says this over and over, and every time he does, he is taking a victim of systemic injustice, a person from a marginalized community, and he is healing that. He is solving this problem of systemic injustice and pushing back against the whole idea that undergirds that system of injustice and oppression.